welcome to another edition of the Eternal Journey. I'm the Resolves, and this is Praxis Worldbearer. Well, there's a few changes with the deck. We've got a little bit of Diogo action, as well as the Flamestoker, and the reason for that is that there's a lot of the Fire Justice Shadow decks at this moment in time. They're just trying to one-for-one you for removal before they eventually take over with like one of the huge threats. And I think that right now, against those sort of decks, I think they give you enough time to sort of get going with the Flamestoker, especially when you've managed to power it out quickly and early with the Power Stone and the Trailmaker. I'm also currently playing a Singleton Shatterglass Mage. I don't want to play millions, I mean, well I do really, but it's only got 3 toughness, so it does just die to a torch if your opponent's not got any weapons. But against a carrier buffed weapon, this sort of deals as like a 2-for-1, as it removes all the armor from the weapon, so you can get your opponent nice back and low where you put them. And it also removes the weapon or any other sort of attachments. If your Worldbearer Behemoth perhaps gets permafrosted, you can also just use it for that reason. And I really like in a deck that's just like a big mana deck that's got loads of power through the Power Stone and the Trailmaker, of course. Maybe even like some of the budget discounts we get from the Crimson Firemaw. I really like just having a bunch of like warp stuff that we're just able to have a load of power and just like play it off the top of the deck, because there is nothing worse as a feeling of just seeing that warp card on top of your deck and just like, oh, I can't play it. But with the amount of power that we're able to generate, we shouldn't ever have that problem really. In a similar vein, we do have the Heart of the Vault still, one of the safest Praxis crafts. This, alongside the Shatterglass Mage, I actually do have a little bit of a combo going on with the Crimson Firemaw, as you can play them both out quite cheaply. So if you attack with the Crimson Firemaw, you can see the Heart of the Vault on top of the deck, and you're able to connect with an attack. You're able to play a Heart of the Vault for 2 power, which is pretty busted, because that means that whatever you draw off it, you can probably play like that turn. If the JPS deck is not playing Harsh Rule, then we can sort of a good job of just be able to play threat after threat and not have to worry a single thing. Diogo is something that I'm not sure on this. It's very good at just sort of getting in there and threatening weapons. It's also a pretty good blocker at 3-5. 3-5 being like one of the better stat blocks when you just want to be sort of defensive in some matchups. It's got a pretty busted ultimate, and when you pay it, you give Diogo and each unit in your deck double damage and charge. And yes, this does double duty with the Heart of the Vault, which is then able to enter play and deal 4 damage with its summon effect, as well as just being a practical 12/6. The Flamestoker does have some other interesting interactions in that if you play it when you've got a Kiln Titan in play, whether it be off the top of the deck or whether you just played it from hand, this is a nice 6 damage, and that's probably going to kill any other blocker. Let you get in there with the Great-Kiln Titan. Overall, probably done to death this deck, but it's always a big favourite of mine, so out of the games. Okay, so sadly not quite keepable. One more power in his hand and I'm snapping it off, but fortunately it's a redraw. There's no ramp here, so we're just going to be playing completely fair, but we're able to scout to start off. Now we are on the play. So Seek power is probably fine, as at this point as good as a Power Stone on top, as it means that we are able to find the second Fire Influence, and on turn 4, depending on which one we need, we'll have to play the Diogo or the Sandstorm Titan. We're still live to actually draw a Power Stone, and if we do, that means that we're able to establish a turn 4 Worldbearer, which still puts you miles ahead. So I'll probably play like a Stone Scar deck that's got Seek power in it, so maybe this is JPS, or it was a nice good evening there. And I think, do we want a second copy of this? It's a huge threat. If we're against JPS, we just want to keep playing huge threats, and if we are against like a Stone Scar beatdown deck, we just want to have a bunch of roadblocks in the way. And okay, so we are against JPS, so hopefully we do get to see how the... I think right now we can afford to save the Diogo. If we are able to get down some Behemoths and ramp it up, we could perhaps just like play and activate in the same turn, and that's a good place to be, as our opponent won't have any opportunity to respond to this, and this will have a huge effect on the game going forward from there. So right now, sadly, we've got the Heart of the Vault on top of our deck and we can't play it. But it's going to chunk in there for 5. We're probably going to perhaps... Okay, so there's nothing we can actually do there, is there? So we'll play the Waystone down. This deck is maybe playing Ash Rule. But the version I was looking at earlier today didn't. So I think it's going to double torch this, in which case I'm fine. I feel like we've got like 2.5 cards out of them. And the double torch tells me 100% they do not have a harsh rule. If they do, they don't have the double justice for it. They could very well have just fished for a removal spell. Like, you've got to be kidding. It's telling me that maybe they didn't. But they've got the wanted poster that they're placing down on us. So we're just going to attack in here, get our first ramp out of the way. And we mised into the 2 to our opponent, I guess. Okay, so we can just play the power down here. Just get ourselves ever closer to just being able to do the play and activate. If our opponent plays some sort of blocker here, like a Macto. Okay, and they've given it up, but basically we've got the initiation, so we would have been able to ramp for free next turn if they played any sort of blocker. And then after that, it's sort of incidental, just getting up to the Diogo. Okay, we're on the play, and we've got a reasonably good hand here. We do need to Crest of Impulse here just to sort of look for an undepleted power. And if we're against a beatdown deck, these Flamestokers are doing nothing. But if we're against what I suspect, which is another FJS deck, we'll be able to get a nice early Flamestoker out with the Power Stone and the Trailmaker. So any undepleted power here, and I'm super happy. So Sandstorm Titan is another threat, which is good. But it's not power, and I'm just going to try and mise into the power. Yep, looks like it could well be. So we don't play this out now. Doesn't matter which influence we get. Then next turn we're going to get to play the Power Stone just so we're nice and safe. It gives them sort of like a smaller window of being able to deal with it. And our turn we're going to be at 5. We'll play the Trailmaker. If it survives the 1-turn cycle, we'll be able to start laying down these Flamestokers. And if we play and they deal with the Trailmaker, then we've got enough power in hand where we're able to sort of sort this out ourselves. Oh. Yeah, let's put the spooks on. Which one do we like today? I think it's going to be Primal. Play the Power Stone here. And then we're just going to make a Flamestoker into a Flamestoker. And our opponent does have a 3/3 here. We're going to be eventually attacking for... Oh no! This is going to bite. So this is the newer version of this deck. This is going to hurt. So it's getting 2 points there. Play Flamestoker with the best sound effects. We are taking 7 here, going down to 10 and just cracking back for 5, which isn't really enough, but our opponent seems to be stuck on power. So maybe we can deal with one of these threats. We'll be in good shape. So I'll like need a torch or a Purify off the top, probably just to deal with the Highwayman. Sort of deal with it before they can deploy whatever has been getting these war cries. Okay, so now I was going to play the Kiln Titan. But there's a thought of perhaps... Because what we can do here is... We can play the Kiln Titan. And then this will play the Heart of the Vault off the top of the deck. And then next turn we should be able to play the Flamestoker if the Kiln Titan is still in play. I think that's what we'll do. So this deals 2 damage over here. Then if our opponent is not able to remove this, then next turn we'll be able to use the Flamestoker to shoot down any threats that they've got. So this will take a double torch to deal with. Don't Don't just Flamestoker. Just kill this threat. And that's like the other sort of upside of playing Great-Kiln Titan, is you get to do cool stuff like that. I think because we know this list doesn't have Harsh Will, we're going to play the Crimson Firemaw. I'll keep the power in hand just in case we make an Ascendant. And what's this? Okay, so we'll get a Shadow here, so fill it up. Opponent does Harsh Will here, we're going to be crunching in for 10, and we've got 2 damage on top of the deck that should be able to find like a torch or something like that. But our opponent doesn't have it in their list, I'm pretty sure we know the exact 75 here. And our opponent's in a great deal of trouble here. Originally played the 5-4 out just so that if there wasn't a carry we'd just be able to chump block it. I don't want to get too low against this deck, and then we'll be able to crack back for lethal. Okay, well, we've got the combo, which is the Flamestoker Great-Kiln Titan. And we're on the play, just going to keep it. It is not a capable hand for everyone who's watching at home. This is not even close, as this is well too slow. So we've got 4, 5 power, 6 power here. We'll bottom it though, we've got time to draw it and that sort of stuff. We just want to find some sort of interaction. Though I guess I probably should have kept it, because if I was here to interact, I won't be keeping this sort of nonsense hand. And we do have basically our power side out. We've got triple here. So we'll start to have a bit of fun. We'll go for justice this time. Against like a Ricano deck here, looks like a proper Ricano. So we're just going to torch this down and feel pretty silly about this keep, because this keep's probably not excellent against a Ricano deck. Pretty much every one of their threats can and does need to be torched, but just slowing them down just enough. Okay, so we've got a Xenan initiation, which is going to be interesting once we get this Flamestoker going, which is not quite yet. So we are a turn away here. Because we actually have, yeah, we've got 4 power here, so if they deal with this one trouble, uh-oh. Well, we're taking 5. Yep, no blocks from me. We're going to take 10 damage from this before we can deal with it, which is a pretty sorry state of affairs. It's probably actually just better to get the Heart of the Vault down. Let's unlock this, and our opponent's at 23, so we're just going to try to Mage into the 0 cost Purify or Torch. I didn't quite get there. It'll attack for 2. Get me damage back somehow. Probably should have kept this back, to be honest. But next turn the plan is just to make a Ascendant and play the power after it. How much are we taking this? 7? Do we want to take 7? We don't really, if I'm honest with you. But we also do want to sort of get this Xenan initiation going on over here, so we'll do that. We'll take 7. If this doesn't work out, we've got like some finest arrow torch or something. We'll just chump block next turn with this idiot over here. Sadly, we don't have an undepleted power, so we're not able to play the Worldbearer Behemoth and do the Xenan initiation off that. We've got to do it off the Heart of the Vault, which does bite a little bit, but we're going to trade evenly here. I've probably got like a bunch of... Okay, what do we get? Got a Seed of Impulse, so it's a power to trigger this. So we'll keep that because we've got like enough threats to be going. Just wanted to get a little bit closer to being able to play this. So we're just going to trade here. Everyone's got a bunch of war cries, like either in hand or on top of the deck. The attack here, we're happy just to block the owner run, otherwise I'm taking 3. Oh, there is a 8-9 in the air. So we're in trouble. Probably going to lose this game. Even the Flamestoker Great-Kiln Titan isn't enough to get there. So I guess we're just playing Mystic Ascendant and drawing a card off it. And hoping that we manage to survive, and we don't, because we're going to take 9 from this Unseen Commando. That is ridiculous. And Cloud of Ash didn't need to be played there, really, because they were just going to get in for 9 in the air. But I appreciate the sentiment. It's an interesting inclusion in this deck. Okay, so this hand's pretty much a worse version of the one from the last game. But we any ramp, but it's got all the payoffs. I suppose this is ramp, but not quite. 5 cost ramp spells are not where I want to be. This isn't excellent either, but we do get to make a turn 3 Titan if we are uninterrupted. Okay, that is a lot of echo, so I'm hoping it's Find the Way. We do see Justice here, so that echo spell is very likely some sort of Find the Way. And our opponent just doesn't have the required influence to make it work on turn 2. So hopefully we'll be able to get there with this Sandstorm Titan. Taste it. No fair. And go. Play the Amber Waystone, play the Sandstorm Titan. If our opponent's up to anything too fruity, then we do have the Shatterglass Mage to deal with that. Yep, I expect. Okay, we'll see Amber Acolyte, and what I suspect is Find the Way. That is going deep. Okay, well, there's a good attacking for 5 here. And I think as we're far enough away from like any sort of harsh rules or any nonsense like that, I'm just going to play the Worldbearer Behemoth down rather than setting up our power, because we'll be able to do that next turn. Yep, so double Find the Way. I think this is the turn that we pump the brakes. And we sort of try and set up the Flamestoker. Oh, nice. So I'm going to take a Fire Source out. Attack here because I'm pretty sure they've got Harsh Rule and they're just going to block the 5/6 just to prevent the most damage being dealt. And we don't entirely need that Sigil, because our next turn, if a Harsh Rule does happen, is to load up the Flamestoker. So they've just made it super obvious to us that that's what's happening. So I'll play the 5 Sigil down. No real reason to play any other threats. And hopefully they are unable to interact with this, and this will just kill them over a sort of cycle of 2 turns. And they didn't have it. But they need something here, because otherwise they're just dead to this board. And, well, let's BM. Oh, I want to draw the cards. Oh well. No spoil spot exactly. Okay, well, we've got Trailmaker and Power Stone into 2 real good threats depending on the matchup, so we'll keep this. We are on the draw. We do get to lead for Scout, and then I'm just going to play the Waystone if we don't draw an undepleted power to be able to have the Seat of Impulse coming into play without any trouble. And we've also got the slight chance we're able to find an undepleted power here, so we've got Dawnwalker as well, which is still good. It's like a Ricano deck here, so we kind of just have a trouble like dealing with Dawnwalker, especially just able to keep recurring it like every other turn. You just have like an additional blocker. I think it's probably worth keeping, even though realistically I do just want undepleted power so that we're able to just deploy this as soon as possible. Everyone's got a little bit of a slow draw as well here, so we'll play the Amber Waystone out, not hurting for influence exactly here. So we'll play the Trailmaker next. This will fix our power up because there will be triple of each influence that matters. We've got a Whirling Joe there. So maybe we'll just play the Dawnwalker just to have a pretty good blocker and potentially get a removal spell of our opponent like a Vanquish or Torch, just so they're able to keep chucking in there for damage. And we've got another Power Stone as well. So what does this bring to us? Not exactly a lot. If we would play power there, I'd more than happily just like play the Trailmaker and the Power Stone, and then if we rip a power, we'll be able to play a Mystic Ascendant and activate. Our opponent does have the Symbiote, however, so they're able to stop us from blocking, but you can't put out the light. We'll block eventually. Okay, so we'll get a nice little Purify going on here. And who are we going to take out? It's going to be the Lifesteal. The Trample's like neither here nor there, really. So I think at this point we can play the Power Stone just have like guaranteed Flamestoker, but I don't think Flamestoker is going to be excellent against our opponent. Also, play either or. And the extra body is probably helpful. I think having the Power Stone down is probably a little bit better, because our opponent can't interact with it. And next turn we'll be able to deploy Sandstorm Titan and the Trailmaker. Sandstorm Titan will of course get us back the Dawnwalker, which is where we want to be, because it just means that we have this thing that our opponent has to deal with like every couple of turns. We're just going to... Oh wow, our opponent is going deep. So we're just going to take 6 here. What's gain 6? Gain 6 is less relevant for us, really. We're also able to bring the Dawnwalker back because we didn't have the additional influence. But that shouldn't be an issue. So, Jungle Scholar here. So this is, looks like our opponent's playing it quite slow here. They don't have an actual answer for this yet. Yep, so we're blocking every day. Don't you worry about this, friend. That's a block from me. You can gain some life. We'll eventually overwhelm. Oh, it's not the end of the world. Our opponent has tapped out, however. So right now, which threat do we go for killing? The unblockable? I'm going to assume our opponent's not getting any sick weapons just to be able to absolutely destroy us next. Or the Overwhelmer. I think I'm happy to take him 3 next turn just so that we don't actually take a million from some unblockable source, because that's the only chance we'll have to kill it with the Xenan initiation. If they did. So an unblockable steady marshal, that's fine. Especially it's worth thinking about as well, because our opponent does have the ability over here to be able to have another unblockable unit in hand. I think right now we'll play this just to gain life, though it's slightly worse than Ascendant. It means that if this gets killed, we're still able to play this. I'm sure if our opponent had the answer to, yeah, there's no matter what, we're able to play this now just as a 4/4. It's fine. Opponent's off the top here. This is even better. We'll get to scout. Okay. He also saying once our opponent had an answer to this, that we've used it on. Yep, we'll keep them Waystone just to keep trickling in the life there. Okay, so are they going out? Yep. So they get to chunk us in for 2 here. Or just get rid of this. Next time I'm going to gain 2 life and use the Xenan initiation here just to kill. Oh, okay, right, well, we get to sort of have it all. And we've got another high level on top, so we get to kill this. We get to bring back our little dudes, and we get to Xenan initiation over here, which kills this. Now, opponent's got nothing on board. They've got infinite life, but we're just going to take over the game. Okay, so maybe this is good. You know, we're on the play. We've not got any scout lands, which is what I'd like. We do have a good amount of interaction. We've got 2 excellent late game threats, and we've got a Power Stone to sort of help get us there. So I think this is a keep, despite being a little bit questionable. Echo cards this earlier. That's interesting. Play the seat out. I suspect Echo cards with Crest of Impulse. What's Echo? There's a Twin Brood Sauropod or something. That'd be interesting to see. We don't have anything yet, so I think I'll just deploy the Power Stone while we can. It was a nice cheap turn to do it on. So I'm interested in what this Echo spell our opponent has is. I mean, they could very well just be like a multi-faction deck. Looks like they are. So we will scout here, try and find something to do on our next turn. And Sandstorm Titan's a fine thing to do, of course. Against our opponent's deck. I'm guessing this is like the Phoenix style sort of Combrano stuff. So we'll actually keep this, as we've got another turn to actually really need to find the other power. Opponent's doing the Find the Way here, which is fine by me. We've got a nice slow drop, but they will have a consistent power base. So we haven't got a perfect answer to a carry, which I guess is something that this deck is going to try and ramp up into. But we can sort of 2-for-1 ourselves, just turn it into a 5/5 that we're able to blank. Can also pop the Aegis with the Heart of the Vault if we need to, but we're quite a while off yet. Another Flamestoker, not exactly what the Doctor ordered. But any fire off the top means we can just go running Flamestokers. And they're just drawing up a Find the Way, so they've not drawn anything this turn. Stronghold's Visage, okay, so this is like a actual Visage control deck. Okay, cool. That's interesting, so that means they'll have Disjunction, and I think that can kill relics, and not just weapons. So our Flamestokers are not in excellent shape. But this is actually quite difficult to outrace once your opponent gets going and has managed to deal with your board. But I think I'm just going to keep trying to interact with them on this level. So Okay, you can kill out. That's not the destruction target you really wanted there. So it's very likely they've got a. Very possible they've got a Wrath. I'm just going to play the Crimson Firemaw out because if they don't, they're just relying on spot removal here. Then we'll be able to make the top card of our deck a little bit cheaper. So they've got Hammer, which is fine. It's going to be a 2-armor hammer. If they had a Vanquish as well, we'll be in trouble, but we will be able to just torch this off on our turn. And they are getting pretty close to that carrier turn, which is something we were worried about. But just hopefully we find underplated power here, and we're just able to... Yeah, so hitting that power stone was really a problem for us. There's now our answer to the impending carry is just to have a torch and a Purify for it just to turn it into a 5/5. And is that what they've got? Yeah, that's what they've got. Okay, well, if they're just attacking like this, I'm just happy just to block, that's fine by me. I believe they've just played a depleted power, so this is just for the Warcry. Well, they've got so many powerful like threats in the deck. The +5/+5 is not nothing. And what's going on with this Crest of Impulse? Another Purify. No thanks, already got one. If it was an actual torch rather than a Purify, I'd be tempted to keep it just because we are getting pretty close to just being able to burn our opponent out. They went straight onto the hammer, which is a bit of a problem for us, as they're not going to take any damage here. So I think rather just take, we can just take 9 next turn, and that's fine. We can't actually kill us because like if we just play a Heart of the Vault, we just deal 2 damage to this, and then they're able to like whatever, they're able to find some way of killing this. We still just take 9. So I'm gonna lay down the Flamestoker. Gonna lay down the power, even though we do have the Misk Ascendant in hand, just because that's not our plan currently. Our plan currently is to have a Infernus sort of going, and they're able to kill the first one with a Disjunction. And that's sort of good because I really don't want them Disjunction in this back once we're able to deal with it. It's currently at 8, which is leaving us quite a problem. We do need to find one of our Shatterglass mages pretty quickly, and we've got Dawnwalker, which is a reasonable way of dealing with this. Can we take 9 again? I think we can afford to sort of take 9 again. We do go to 7, and then we're in trouble to any Risen Forward carries. We're instantly dead to that. But this just sort of helps us to set up, and we are going to be able to pressure them with the Infernus. What's happening with it? Okay, so we're being allowed to get away with it. So we could also play the Diogo here just to definitely kill this off. But I think we're just going to do it the good old fashioned way. I have the Heart of the Vault to deal 2 damage to it. Then got the additional power here, so if we are able to lay the Diogo down and let them go unharmed, we are able to ultimate it straight away. Our opponent is at £11 now, so if they do have the Rise to the chance, they can rise for a carry, and that is lethal. Now they've got Maul Fist, who's currently an 8/8. So Maul Fist is very good with Disjunction. It's less good when face down with these Infernuses, and I think we'll just pop this with the Heart of the Vault and get in there for 5. And our opponent has not got much time to deal with this. Let's get Primal Dismar. We'll play the power up. The game isn't going to go long enough for the Misk Ascendant to happen. We are dead to a Risen Forward carrier still. And if it's going to be a case of Purify this and just get in there. Yep. So Purify this. We've also got another haste attacker here, and our opponent sees the writing, and the game's over. This hand's got interaction. It's got a good number of 4-drops, and I really like these ones, but I think it's still just a redraw here. This hand's a little bit bad, also a little bit worse. These Xenan initiations have got nothing to be attached to, but we can hopefully just find power, and there we go, that's what we're after. So, got a Praxis banner, then we're able to follow with a Seat of Impulse and a Power Stone, and then we can just make a turn 3 Crimson Firemaw. And if we're able to, we can sort of land the Xenan initiation on this and just kill something. We do have to be very cautious of Annihilate over here. Okay, well, time's on our side then. We've already ramped up once. So despite these sort of nonsense cards being in our hand, we can pretty much miss with the Crimson Firemaw and just have it annihilated. But we're still pretty close to just laying down the heart of the vault. And that should help just dig us through our deck and get us towards some of our units that we really want to be spending some Xenan initiations on. Those are the Worldbearer Behemoth and the Dawnwalker. As Dawnwalker just comes back as a recurring killer threat, so just a free removal spell every time you play something big. It's a little bit slow, but any sort of grindy sort of matchups like I suspect this will be, it does some good work. So our opponent's got a pretty easy out here with a Runehammer. Runehammer will do the job, but as our opponent's thinking, perhaps they're thinking about like Agiport Instigator or like some sort of way of blocking with units. I was vanquished, so I'm not sure what our opponent was thinking about exactly. Maybe they just wait to play like an actual threat now. And right now, we're just going to sort of stand fast. If our opponent wants to sabotage us, they are more than welcome to see that we've got all these ways have been blown up by Annihilate. But I'm hoping to play this out of the vault and hoping that this will do some work. Hoping our opponent does just play a Tarot next. We're able to Xenan Initiation around Heart of the Vault and just gobble it up. We do only actually play 3 Xenan Initiations in the deck and withdraw them all. So this is telling me that this is actually a slower control version because we've got Privilege of Rank. It is a nice little combo with the Tarots. But mostly it just tells me that my opponent wants to get to Sword of the Sky King. In which case that means that our Flamestokers, if we draw, are going to be pretty good. As they do an excellent job of pressuring any sort of huge relic weapons. Win decks that are able to like 1-for-1 UF removal or sort of thing. A little bit threat light right now. We do only have the Heart of the Vault and we're sort of relying on the top of our deck. So if we draw a Mystic Ascendant, I'll just seek power and keep the power in hand. So Tarot it is. Not going to put our opponent and have anything like a Finest Hour here when they're just showing us a Privilege of Rank. It's not quite the same deck. But happy just to chunk in there, stop them getting any value from this. I think we'll get this power down just because if we do draw like a Great-Kiln time, I do just want to play it straight away. Just start accruing that value. I still have a power in hand for the Mystic Ascendant, and that's something worth thinking about. We can also, if we draw like a Worldbearer Behemoth, we can put the killer on the Worldbearer, kill them with the blocker, and just get in for another nice 7 damage there. Let's think about something. I assume it's going to stabilize with a nice Sword of the Sky King, but that will get torched. Having a 0-cost torch is pretty nice, as you're able to cover it up behind a lot of things. They're going to have quite a sizable sword if they do make it. Yeah, let's go attack in there. There's no reason to like Z initiation there because we really just want to get the damage through. I suspect if our opponent does have like undepleted power and sword that they just block here, just so they're able to play the sword, have 12 toughness on it, and just able to deal 5 threat. But they just light it through, so we get to gobble up that armor. I'm not too concerned about taking 4 over here. I think we'll sit back on the power. Next turn we'll play one, of course, just in case, because we do have warp cards on our deck. Warp being one of the better mechanics from set 2. Yep. Second 4 here. It really allows you to, aside from now, where we're just like in huge amounts of trouble, it really allows you to sort of not run out of steam super easily. So we've got our opponent on a 2-turn clock here, they're on 14. But we do need to sort of find something before they get to go ham. So here's the Sword of the Sky King, and yeah, that's just getting torched. This tells us they've not got a fast effect here. What's at 12 now? Say reasonable life total. Perhaps. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to start playing power out now, regardless of whether or not we've got Mystic Ascendant, just because we're getting close to the point where we can just play and ultimate Diogo in the same turn, and that'll probably just be lights out for our opponent. I think next turn, despite being in trouble to annihilate, I'm going to consider just putting the Xenan Initiation on our And the little golem this guy's going to make, the Infernus. Just sort of remove this out of the way. Because we can't take 4 forever against a deck that sort of wins in chunks of 8. Especially now there's an additional one. Okay, well, we're going to get to try this twice and see how that works out for us. So we're going to kill this. And no fast effects there for the opponent. And we're going to play the Dawnwalker. I didn't feel any fast windows there were happening, so I'm just going to kill both our opponent's threats. And then next turn we will bring back a killer Dawnwalker, as now every turn we're just making an Infernus. So bring this back, which is pretty nice against relic weapons. Now we've basically established the lock against our opponent's win condition, which if it's maxed up, we get to kill it off with this. And if it's weapons, every turn this is going to come back. And Sword of the Sky King doesn't last very long when this is happening. So getting extracted, but now I've seen our opponent's got so much reach. It's a good job that we gained a little bit of life and dealt with those 2 threats. Okay, there's a Rune Hammer here just to deal 4 to us, but next turn it's going to get taken down unless they've got Annihilate straight away here. And if they do have the Annihilate anyway, we've still got this 5-2 back. I'll just play this out. This puts us to 11. And then so if we rip the Diogo, we should be able to play and ultimate. Though it shouldn't actually matter, as we will be attacking for 12 anyway. I put in the old emotes to let them know it's over. Just while they're taking the time to figure it out. In spots like this where you're just trying to ladder up and you realise that you're not in a winnable situation, just call it a day. This isn't doing anything for you. I mean, you're at 10. Okay, so we can actually just draw Diogo off the top. So we're going to play this. Deal 2 to our opponent. And it makes sense that our opponent actually tanked now because they did have a decision. And Torch will do it. So even if we get a Rune Hash Rule, even though the Flamestoker would do the job. Okay. Just hanging on, but yeah, the game's over. Okay, so this is an easy redraw, and it's probably going to be the last game that we play here. And this is interesting. I really need power to sort of make this hand happen. My opponent wants to sabotage us. I'm happy with that. That's how I want our opponents to spend their turns. That's another strength of the Praxis deck. I think we'll be keeping that banner, because that helps us with our power a lot. Lets us get down this Dawnwalker. I'm hoping we're not playing against the tempo deck, because could be pretty rough. We do have the Sandstorm type, but other than that, nothing else really needs dealing with by them. Wisdom of the Elders. Okay, so it's Fel Control, that's fine. If they want to play if they want to play that match where we're just going to grind each other out, then I'm more than happy to oblige. We've got all these really grindy threats, and though they do have an actual window to deal with the Dawnwalker now, it's not what it was against the Steward of the past. A little bit of life here. Chuck in for 4. There's no longer any reasons to do the old just attack no matter what with the Dawnwalker anymore, as we don't have the 4 required timing with us. But playing the Crimson Firemaw first, this is an ordering that is important in this deck. Is you want to play this first, because then you can get the evasion out of it. Because as soon as you play the Sandstorm type, it's not going to do anything. Also, generally, it gets annihilated. And you'd much rather have a Sandstorm type play. I'm also very jealous for our opponent because they've managed to play 3 Wisdom of the Elders, and we've played none. So I feel like they're just miles ahead. But ultimately that's not going to matter, because we've got a board and you can draw as many cards as you want, but when you're in colours that don't have a removal suite that's just going to be like a mash removal, you're just playing 1 for 1 here, eventually you're just going to die. They've used quite a bit of removal, though they have drawn a bunch of cards, so if we do draw Underplate Power, well, we didn't, we would have just slammed the Worldbearer Behemoth and just ramped it up and just got to that Great-Kiln Titan. I think as we're just going to play the Worldbearer here for next turn, I'm just going to keep this Dawnwalker on top. We're not in no rush exactly to get this Heart of the Vault. I'm more than happy enough just to have 2 of these Dawnwalkers going and just sort of alternate them in the loop so that any Steward of the Past isn't able to just take them out. I probably might want to play Steward of the Past here just to block, and if they do, we're sort of... This is great because we'll be able to attack this into it. So it's like double extract, which is an interesting strategy. Otherwise, extract double Lightning Storm, in which case I'm super happy. Yep, so extract Vara's Favour, Lightning Storm just to deal with this board. Like, they drew a card from Vara's Favour, but they've had to deal with 3 cards from hand just to deal with 2 of our threats. One was about to come back. I could have perhaps considered just playing the Dawnwalker, but this doesn't give them any window whatsoever to be able to remove the Dawnwalker. And we also want to get this going as soon as possible. Rats, Harbinger. Okay. Well, now we get to play the RNG lottery and get in there with this. Get a undepleted power. Yep, which we did. We'll be able to play a Heart of the Vault and just go straight face with that. You're not wrong, you cannot put out the light. Let's give him the spookies, play some Primal. I still love this card, just get to pick any influence. A full set of Wisdom of the Elders. I've always played 4 Wisdom of the Elders, and we're still probably going to win this matchup. That was probably 100% correct by our opponent to remove the Worldbearer, otherwise they were going to get Great-Kiln, and then the game would have been 100% over. So they are sort of racing us here, but they're only negating 4 damage, and we're attacking for 8 currently, and we're about to make a little bit more with this. Don't see a way our opponents got out of this. Yeah, we're looking at Death Strike, you think, have this on Chump Blocker duty. And we've got a Diogo, which probably would have done it actually. Okay. If the ladder's going to be full of players using spot removal, sabotages, and protects, then you may as well play a sort of deck that can blank it. We don't really care about sabotage. I mean, obviously you can take out Flamestoker and that's going to bite, but we've not really got many targets. And if our opponent wants to play stuff like protect, that's fine, because most of the time the way we're going to kill our opponent's units is just by having bigger units like Sandstorm Totem, or we're just going to play something like Xenan Initiation and just give one of our units killer. So we don't care about protect, we don't care about Aegis, and I think that's a really great place to be. Also, the FJS deck has sort of seems to have cut out its harsh rules, which is perhaps partly due to the fact that it's now more like a charged gunslinger deck that's got some Valkyries in it to win the game, bunched with a load of removal. Though harsh rule was never actually a weakness that we needed to worry about. All of our threats are just so good on their own, and they're able to provide their own value. So we've got like Great-Kiln, we've got Ascendant, Heart of the Vault. All this stuff requires an answer, and it's usually like a 1-for-1 removal. So we do a pretty good job of turning our opponent's harsh rule into basically a 5-cost sorcery speed, kill one thing. And when we've got things like Flamestoker as well, which as well as just like absolutely destroying relic weapons and opponents who do want to still play harsh rule in 2018, Year of Our Lord. We've also got other things like the Dawnwalker just keeps coming back with Flamestoker, and this is excellent because the Dawnwalker is a little bit harder to get back now because you do need the 4 time sources to be able to do this. I should be able to bring this up, yeah. So we do need the 4 time sources to be able to bring the Dawnwalker, as well as the other condition of needing a unit with 5 power or more. So now we've got the Flamestoker, this pretty much covers at least one of those steps that we require. Also, we don't just need to keep ripping threat after threat to be able to rebuy them. Dawnwalker's still as good as advertised when paired with the Xenan Initiation, as you get to have a killer unit that keeps coming back, as we saw in one of the games. Sadly, we weren't able to really utilise the killer too much, but it's nice to just keep bringing back a 5/2 for free that you literally can never remove. The changes to Steward of the Past were perhaps a little bit too conservative, as even though this now takes 4 time sources to rebuy, it's still a hell of a threat. And it does an excellent job at just basically blocking anything that doesn't have quick draw and trading. Similar to Macto, if you can get this to trade, you're in good shape. If you can get this to chump, you're still in reasonable shape because it's still just buying you extra time to draw some more cards. Diogo, sadly, we never got to really go off with. Our opponents were far too courteous in conceding for us before we got to have that amount of fun. But I really like it, and I'm happy that I managed to shave a Crimson Firemaw just to get into it. I see a lot of other types of this deck do play the Praxis Displacer, which is perhaps also a very good threat right now if your Recano opponents are playing weapons. But with the amount of enters, play abilities, I'm charged at this moment in time. I'm not really too excited about that. And with it being a 3-2 for 4, it does sort of force your hand into playing cards like the Xenan Obelisk. And Xenan Obelisk, as good as it is, and as great as it can be in just like these mid-range grinding mirrors, I'm more than happy just to play Great-Kiln Titan and then just like play a Flamestoker and just kill my opponent. The quality of our threats is so high that I don't think any of them really need +1/+1. Maybe the Shatterglass Mage, so she does get torched, but she's often done her work. And if there is an Obelisk Mirror, then she's here to deal with that. I'd like to perhaps fit 1 or 2 more in, but if FJS is one of the best decks, I really like being in a position where Torch is a card that doesn't do anything against us. And this being the only threat that you can Torch is fine. I really like positions where a opponent has to double Torch. I like Torch plus Runehammer, a Sandstorm Titan, as I just feel super ahead. As we're 2 for 1 in the 2 for 1 deck. This feels like such a powerful position. The power base is pretty excellent. Maybe want to go back up on the banners a little bit and go a little bit down on the crests. Although the crests are pretty good, as they do help you dig a little bit closer to these warp threats. Just having all these dual influence power sources is excellent, as we are quite power intensive with the Heart of the Vault and the Flamestoker and the Worldbearer. Admittedly, there is some overlap with the Heart of the Vault, but we do really need triple and triple on time. But the Worldbearer Behemoth does do a good job of fixing this later in the game for us, as when she attacks, she does throw that random power into play, and this doesn't even need to attack because you can play it on 7 with a Xenan initiation, and the killer does count as being an attack, so you get to ramp up a little bit that way and just keep accruing value, even though sometimes it doesn't feel like you're actually ahead with the Xenan initiation, but usually are. Whenever you get to Xenan initiation, a Sandstorm Titan in the Sandstorm Titan mirror, you are in excellent shape because you get to kill theirs, and then your Sandstorm Titan is bigger than anything they're going to do for quite some time. Anyway, I've really enjoyed this deck, and I thought I'd bring it back from the vault. So let me know what you think, how you'd build Praxis. I've been That Resolves, and this has been Praxis Worldbearer.